In this video, I discuss the top 5 reasons not to become a Jehovah's Witness. Stay tuned. Hey, just a reminder to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this content, so let's get straight into it. People choose to associate with religious organizations for its ability to focus attention on God and His everlasting purposes, outline moral guidelines, or provide community. Many people have profited from Watchtower by accomplishing the above goals in their lives. Jehovah's Witnesses are generally sincere, clean living individuals who devote their lives to serving Jehovah in the manner instructed by the Watchtower, which includes a regular preaching and attendance at meetings. One of the enjoyable aspects of being a Jehovah's Witness is making friends through the congregation and meeting a diverse range of people through conventions. This is not, however, unique to being a Jehovah's Witness. Other religions and churches do that too. Watchtower likes to use the illustration that even a small amount of poison pollutes an entire glass of water. As stated in the Reasoning from the Scriptures, page 323, it says, "Is it true that there is good in all religions?" Most religions do teach that a person should not lie or steal and so forth, but is that sufficient? Would you be happy to drink a glass of poisoned water because someone assured you that most of what you are getting was water? High control religious groups greatly limit the freedom of their members based on the belief system of the leaders. The fault lies not with the followers, but with the system, particularly the manner in which Watchtower leaders force followers to think and behave. Well, let's look at the poisonous practices of Jehovah's Witnesses that you should be aware of. Number 1 is shunning. Now, the demand to shun former members is common among high control totalitarian groups, robbing members of their freedom to choose who they should or should not associate with. Shunning is a destructive practice that has ruined the lives of hundreds of thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses family members. Dr. Savin Bapirtadi highlights that due to the social nature of humans, shunning is a form of abuse, yet commonly used by community leaders as a means of control in order to force compliance. The Watchtower practice of shunning goes well beyond scriptural guidelines and exists as a method of control. The multitude of reasons for which one of Jehovah's Witnesses can be disfellowshipped differ greatly in significance from smoking to murder, yet the severity of the punishment is always the same. The disfellowshipped are not to be spoken to by family and friends, including in the street, socially, or at the Kingdom Hall. A person who openly questions Watchtower doctrine is referred to as an apostate, like yours truly, for instance. All societal groups recognize family as of utmost importance, and healthy family relationships are a key contributor to happiness and mental well-being. The United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, "No one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his honor and reputation." Well, the Watchtower contravenes this right by forbidding members from having general association with disfellowshipped family members. The second point that I want to stress here, the second reason not to become a Jehovah's Witness, is of course the unnecessary death and suffering that they bring upon their members. Jehovah's Witnesses are told to put Jehovah first, even if this will result in death. Thus, no compromise is to be made in order to save one's own life. Unfortunately, later changes in rules mean often it was not Jehovah, but the Watchtower that was put first. The Watchtower has a history of providing unusual and wrong medical advice. The Golden Age contained warnings against everything from using aluminium saucepans to eating before lunch. In the 1970s, of course, organ transplants were banned as being cannibalism. And of course, the blood transfusion doctrine has resulted in the needless loss of life amongst the members. Although it was presented as coming from God, the advice changes, indicating otherwise. The prohibition on which blood components must be avoided has changed frequently, resulting in Jehovah's Witnesses continuing to die on the opinions and whims of men. The third reason why not to become a Jehovah's Witness is, of course, the issue of higher education. The Watchtower has regularly warned against higher education. As early as 1910, Russell advised against higher education, as can be seen in this quote. My advice is then give your children an education up to public school limit, not even attempting to take them through high school, for they get plenty of higher criticism in the high schools, and it will not be long before they have it in the common schools also. This trend has continued ever since, and we'll put a link, and I'll put a link to a video where I discuss this in more detail below. Another reason is, of course, children. Children of Jehovah's Witnesses are raised to feel like outcasts at school, with many normal childhood activities such as birthdays, Christmas, Easter, and a variety of public holidays forbidden. Participating in competitive sports is frowned upon, as is socializing with people from other countries. The Watchtower Society has few activities for children. Sunday school is criticized as a way for parents to avoid their responsibility to educate their own children, as can be seen in this quote from The Awake in 1970, September the 22nd, page 19, where it says, many parents feel that Sunday school is an easy and popular shortcut to religious education for the young, relieving themselves of the responsibility. In contrast, mainstream Christianity provides numerous activities for children, ranging from Sunday school to clubs to music nights and camping trips. Worse, as discussed in detail in previous videos of mine, pedophilia. Watchtower's policies on child abuse prioritize the Watchtower Society's reputation over the well-being of the children. This has resulted in a slew of out-of-court settlements and court judgments, with Watchtower compensating victims to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. The most damaging aspect, without a doubt, is realizing that Jehovah's Witness parents only have conditional love for their children. Witness children understand that if they do not remain Jehovah's Witnesses, their parents will regard them as part of the world and may even reject them. Children raised in religions with strict control are not allowed to develop their true identities. Children are pressured to fit into an acceptable psychological type, such as the extroversion required for preaching. The development of personal boundaries is hampered by strict adherence to rules and punishment if you deviate. Now, when former members leave the high control group as adults, they discover that all personal boundaries must be reevaluated, and they may engage in self-destructive behavior during this phase. Another reason why you should not become a Jehovah's Witness is because of their view of people outside the religion. To force members to stay close to the Watchtower, everyone who is not a Jehovah's Witness is referred to as a worldly person. Being labeled as worldly as opposed to worldly wise is not a compliment. Rather, it denotes anyone who is a part of Satan's world and is doomed to destruction. A person is either a worshipper of Jehovah or a follower of Satan. As seen in this quote from the Watchtower of 2011, July the 15th, we must always be careful not to think like people in Satan's world. If we stop preaching, we start following Satan. And if we are on Satan's side, we are against Jehovah. Now, members of high control groups are discouraged from associating with people who are not members of the group, or to be no part of the world. The Watchtower's view of worldly people is pervasive. The evilness of all aspects of the world and its people is presented so consistently in Watchtower's publications and meetings that it becomes mentally invasive to the point where, in my opinion, it damages a follower's grip on reality. A worldly person includes every non-witness, even those that may appear to exhibit nice, clean, good Christian qualities. The effect of this us and them mentality is significant as it creates a physical and a mental isolation from the general population. Leaving the group becomes more difficult as time goes on. An unrealistic dread of being in the world can develop, with members fearing it as a dangerous and an ungodly place. In the next episode, I will discuss a further 5 more reasons not to become a Jehovah's Witness. See you then.